Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. And today we'll be discussing the theory related to the chapter Biodiversity and Conservation. This is the part 3 of the lecture. This is the disclaimer. So, let's talk about today's objective. Objective of today's session, is to discuss the major threats leading to biodiversity loss. So, here we'll talking about the habitat loss and destruction. We'll talk about the overexploitation. We'll talk about the co-extinction. We'll also talk about the climate change and the pollution. This can also lead to biodiversity loss. We'll also understand the consequences of biodiversity loss on ecosystem services. The ecosystem provides a lot of services. Okay, so there will be effect on ecosystem services. Okay, if there is a loss of biodiversity, and also talk about consequence of biodiversity. Okay, on global ecological balance. Then we will explore conservation strategies and measures that can mitigate biodiversity loss and promote sustainability. In the end, we will evaluate the role of international agreements and governmental policies in preserving biodiversity for future generations. So today we'll be talking about loss of biodiversity. This is NCERT section 13.1.4. Then we will summarize the entire session. We'll discuss some NCERT based questions. We'll also discuss some keynotes that will help you memorize these topics. And then there will be some interesting questions that will enhance your critical thinking ability. So let's start with today's session. So we are talking about the loss of biodiversity. So the loss of biodiversity means the decline or disappearance of the biological diversity. Okay, so you can say it is a decline or complete disappearance of species, genetic variation, and entire ecosystem. So there'll be loss at all the levels. There will be loss of genetic diversity, species diversity, and of the ecosystem diversity as well. Now, this process can happen gradually over time or rapidly in catastrophic events. Now, human activity are the main cause of biodiversity loss, driven by a combination of factors often called the evil quadrant. So, we'll discuss about this evil quadrant. Okay, so this biodiversity loss is due to factors like habitat destruction, pollution, as well as climate change. Now, the severe and widespread consequences of biodiversity loss include a reduction in overall number of species, with extinction representing an irreversible loss. This decline disrupts the intricate web of interactions within the ecosystem, weakening the entire system and potentially causing it to break down. Now, this will impact ecosystem resilience and functionality. So, biodiverse ecosystems are more resilient and they can withstand environmental stresses like drought, disease, and invasive species. As biodiversity is lost, ecosystem becomes more fragile and less available to recover from disturbances. Now, biodiversity loss comprises the vital ecosystem services that support human well-being, such as food security, clean air, and climate stability. So these are the ecosystem services. Okay. So if there is a loss of biodiversity, then the human life is also affected because human is getting a lot of resources, loss of materials from the ecosystem. Ecosystem provides a lot of services to the humans as well, which is food, clean air, and a lot of medicines as well. Okay. So suppose there is an ecosystem, or suppose there is a biodiversity loss, and you can see there are no more pollinators. So there is a decline in the population of pollinators like bees. Then obviously it will affect the seed set and the fruit set by the plants because these pollinators, they pollinate the plants. After pollination, the fruit and seed set occurs. Next one. Now the loss of biodiversity is a growing concern. With new species, While new species do naturally evolve over millions of years, there's a concern that the rate at which we are losing the species is much faster than the rate at which new ones can appear to replace them. Unfortunately, a lot of this rapid decline is caused by things people do. So it is because of the human activity. What they do, they destroy the places where these animals and plants live. Like they cut down the forest for building cities. They pollute the air and water. They are hunting and they are fishing too much. Now again, introducing new species that harm the native ones. This can also cause biodiversity loss. And there is a lot of climate change. This is all happening due to human activity. Let's understand this with the help of real life examples. So first one is extinction of 2000 bird species in the Pacific. This highlights the severe impact of human activities on biodiversity. Now, this was due to colonization of tropical Pacific islands by the humans. Now, let's talk about the history of the biodiversity laws. Now, for knowing the history of the biodiversity laws, we have to know about the IUCN Red List. So, the IUCN Red List is basically a big worldwide checklist that tells us how different species of plants, animals, and fungi are doing. Conservation status means whether a species is safe, whether it is in danger, or close to disappearing forever. So, it is a global inventory of species conservation status. IUCN is huge and well respected international organization. Its job is to gather information about the environment and help protect the nature. Now, it documented the extinction of already 784 species in the last 500 years. So, in last 500 years, 784 species have extincted. Now, those extinct 784 species include 338 of vertebrates, 359 of invertebrates, and 87 of the plants. Okay, let's continue with our discussion on the history of the biodiversity laws. Now, let's talk about some of the examples of recent extinctions. Now, the dodo in Mauritius was a flightless bird that lived only on the island of the Mauritius. It became extinct in the 17th century mainly due to human activity like hunting and the introduction of invasive species. Now, quagga found in Africa is a unique subspecies of the zebra that was once widespread but is now extinct. Now, the thylacine, also known as Tasmanian tiger, was a carnivorous marsupial native to Australia, characterized by a distinctive striped back and pouch-like structure for carrying the young. Unfortunately, thylacine became extinct in the wild in the 20th century due to human activities such as hunting and habitat destruction. Next is Steller sea cow, found in Russia, was a large marine mammal that lived during the Pleistocene era. Unfortunately, it was hunted extensively by humans for its meat, bones, and hide, leading to its rapid extinction in the 17th century. Now, three subspecies of tigers, okay, named Bali, Javan, and the Caspian, all are distinct forms of the tiger that have evolved in different regions. Okay, so these have also extincted. So these subspecies differ in size, color, and habitat. Okay, so in this image, you can see the dodo bird, quagga, thylacine, Steller sea cow. So these have gone extinct. Okay, this is clear. Now let's move on. Let's talk about the vulnerable group. Now, vulnerable species is one that is in danger of becoming endangered. Okay, so it is in danger of becoming endangered in the future if we don't take steps to protect it. They are not in immediate danger of going extinct, but their numbers are decreasing or their habitat is shrinking. So in the future, they might go extinct. A great example of vulnerable groups is amphibians, which includes frogs, toads, and salamanders. Many amphibian species are at high risk because their skin is very sensitive to pollution in water, and they are also greatly affected by changes in their habitat caused by things like climate change and disease. Now, what are threatened species? So, these are animals or plants that are at risk of extinction due to factors like habitat loss, pollution, as well as climate change or over exploitation. Yes. So, what are threatened species? Organisms that face a significant risk of extinction in near future. Over 15,100 species worldwide are currently threatened with extinction. What do you mean by percentage of threatened species? Okay, let's talk about this. Okay, so 12% of all bird species are threatened. Approximately 23% of all mammal species are considered threatened with extinction. A significant number of amphibian species are at risk of extinction, with figures around 32% often cited. A gymnosperm, which include conifers and cycads, are also under significant threat, with around 31% of species facing extinction. Let's talk about the mass extinction now. So, how can we define mass extinction? So, mass extinction is not just a few species dying out. It's when a huge number of different species, both plants and animals, all disappear in a relatively short amount of time. Let's talk about some of the examples. Okay, let's look into the past for the context of mass extinction. Over the long history of our planet, there have been 5 major events where biodiversity was massively wiped out. We call this as Big Fives. One of the most famous is the one that killed off the dinosaurs about 66 million years ago. Now, the human impact refers to how human activities such as deforestation, pollution, overuse of resources, and industrialization affect the environment and living organism, often leading to loss of biodiversity. So, we are talking about how humans they can lead to loss of biodiversity. Now, unlike past extinctions, the current one is largely driven by human activities. Now, the first 5 mass extinctions, were caused by huge natural events like volcanic eruptions or asteroid impact. Okay. But the sixth extinction, this is caused by human activities. This is occurring at a very high rate. Let's talk about the rate of extinction, which refers to how quickly species are disappearing from Earth. Now, in pre-human times, what happened? The extinction rate was slower. So, current extinction rate are 100 to 1000 times faster than the pre-human time. Okay. Basically, a pre-human time means what? The time before the humans. Let's talk about the sixth extinction now. What are the causes of this extinction? Now, unlike the past one, which were caused by natural disasters like volcano or asteroid, this one is due to human activities. Human is causing habitat destruction, climate change, and pollution. Pollution is due to burning of the fossil fuels. Okay, it releases gases that warm up the planet. It is causing global warming. Okay, then the waste like plastic and chemical runoff, this pollutes the land, air, and water as well. What are the key differences from other extinctions? Now, the rate and extent of loss are unprecedented compared to past events. Okay, let's see the consequences of this sixth extinction. Now, this is a very shocking and serious warning. Scientists are worried that if we don't change our ways and continue with these harmful activities, we could lose a big portion of all the living things on our planet in a relatively short period of time. It's about the effects of loss of biodiversity. First one is the decline in the plant production. So losing different type of plants in an ecosystem reduces the total number of plant species present, which weakens the ecosystem ability to support various life forms and maintain balance. So plants, they are the producers. They form the base of the food chain, and the entire ecosystem is dependent on the producers because they are producing the biomass and the energy. Now, this happens because diverse plant communities are more productive and efficient at growing together. So when diverse plant communities grow together, they are more productive and efficient because different plants use resources like light, water, and nutrients in ways that complement each other. So this reduces competition and allows for better use of available resources, leading to higher overall growth and productivity. Okay. So if the ecosystem is diverse, it is more stable. It is resilient to changes in the environment. Okay. Clear? It will be more productive also. Because if one species is not performing, you can say it is compensated by the other species. Next one is lowered resistance to environmental perturbances. So this means that an ecosystem or organism becomes more vulnerable to changes in the environment if there is a biodiversity loss. Now, an ecosystem with fewer plant types is more fragile and less able to handle tough changes like droughts or floods because a variety of plants help the ecosystem recover and adapt. Having a diverse range of species in an ecosystem provides natural defense because different organisms play unique role in maintaining balance and resilience. When an ecosystem loses its biodiversity, it means that there are fewer different plant and animal species living there. This loss of variety makes the ecosystem less able to handle changes or stress, like extreme weather, pollution, or disease. Okay, let's continue with our discussion. The third one is the effect increased variability in certain ecosystem processes. The loss of biodiversity disrupts the stability of key ecological functions because each species plays a unique role in maintaining the balance of the ecosystem. For example, pollinators like bees are essential for plant reproduction, and their decline can reduce food production and affect other species that depend on those plants. Similarly, predators help control prey populations, and their absence can lead to overgrazing and soil degradation. Without enough biodiversity, ecosystems become less resilient and more prone to collapse, which affects both the environment and the human society. These key ecological functions include plant growth and pest control. Plant growth is essential because plants produce oxygen, provide food and shelter, and help maintain balance of the environment. Pest control is another important function. Their natural predators or certain organisms keep pest population in check, preventing damage to crops and maintaining ecological balance. Now, when biodiversity is lost, the ecosystem's ability to perform these functions reliably is damaged. Okay, so this causes those processes to become unpredictable. Okay, so there is a loss of biodiversity. So ecosystem's ability to perform these functions is damaged. It is not able to perform these functions. So this leads to sudden fluctuation in plant output. So there will be variation in the plant productivity. There will be variation in the water levels, and there will be disease outbreaks as well because the ecosystem will not able to, you can say, resist the changes. It will not be able to control the changes in the environment, diseases. Let's talk about the cause of biodiversity losses. So there are four main causes basically. That's what is known as evil quadrant. First one is habitat loss and fragmentation. Second is overexploitation. Third one is alien species invasion. And last one is co-extinction of the species. So these are called as the evil quadrant because they work together to cause so much damage to the species. Yep. Let's talk about the first one, habitat loss and fragmentation. Now, the most important cause driving animals and plants to extinction is the destruction of their natural habitat due to human activities like deforestation, urbanization, and agriculture. This loss of habitat disrupts the balance of ecosystem, reduces the availability of food and shelter, and makes it difficult for species to survive, leading to their extinction. Now, habitat loss refers to the complete destruction or removal of a natural environment where plants and animals live. This can happen due to human activities like deforestation, urbanization, or agriculture. Habitat fragmentation occurs when a large natural habitat is divided into smaller, separate parts, often due to human activity. Breaking up of a large continuous habitat into smaller, isolated pieces, mainly due to human activities like building roads, houses, and lodging parks. So this disrupts the natural environment, making it hard for animals and plants to move freely, find food or mate. This can lead to a decline in biodiversity. Here in this image, you can see deforestation is being done by the human. We were talking about the cause of biodiversity loss. What are the examples of habitat loss and fragmentation? First one is destruction of tropical rainforest. This is a serious environmental issue because these forests are home to a vast variety of plants and animals. So it is the most dramatic example of habitat loss. Now, earlier the rainforest used to cover 14% of the Earth's land area, but now they only cover 6%. So this shows that rainforests have greatly decreased in size over time, mainly due to human activity. The Amazon rainforest is a prime example of a tropical rainforest characterized by high rainfall, warm temperature, and dense vegetation throughout the year. It's home to a vast diversity of plants and animals, many of which are found nowhere else on the earth. So, Amazon rainforest plays a vital role in producing oxygen and absorbing carbon dioxide, thus maintaining the Earth's atmosphere. That's why it is also known as lungs of the planet. It harbors probably millions of species. Now, the Amazon is being destroyed right now because of human activity. The trees are being cut down to make room for other things, okay, like for cultivating soya beans, which are often used as feed for livestock. And large part of the forests are burned to create pasture land for cattle to graze. Now let's talk about some of the interesting fact about biodiversity loss. Now you can see this fact shows how fast the destruction is happening. A hectare is about the size of a football field. So for every few minutes you spend studying, a huge amount of rainforest is being destroyed somewhere in the world. Yeah, so by the time you finish reading this chapter, 1,000 more hectares of rainforest would have been lost. Let's go over the next one, overexploitation of the natural resources. Overexploitation refers to the practice of taking more of a species than it can naturally replace through reproduction, which leads to a decline in its population and can eventually cause the species to become extinct. We are overexploiting the resources. The overexploitation means harvesting a species faster than it can be produced. Now, this leads to severe population decline, threatening these species with extinction. This unsustainable practice disrupts the decline balance of entire ecosystem by harming plant, animals, and the environment, which can lead to loss of biodiversity. Can also lead to reduced resources and long-term damage to natural systems that support life. Resulting loss of biodiversity has harmful effects on food webs and dependent species. Okay? So loss of biodiversity disrupt the food webs because each species plays a unique role in maintaining the balance of an ecosystem. When a species disappears, it can affect the availability of food for other organisms, leading to a chain reaction that harms dependent species. For example, if a pollinator like bee vanishes, plants that rely on it for reproduction may decline, impacting animals that depend on those plants for food. Ultimately, it can lead to collapse of an ecosystem. Now, humans have always relied on nature for these basic needs like food and shelter, which is a key idea in understanding how humans interact with the environment. So, this dependence shows that humans are part of the natural world and have evolved alongside it, using natural resources to survive and develop. When humans' need becomes greed, people start using natural resources more than what is necessary, leading to over exploitation. Okay, we're talking about the over exploitation. Let's have a look at examples of over exploitation. So, in the last 500 years, many species have gone extinct, which is a significant loss of biodiversity. This rapid extinction is mainly due to human activities. So, first one is Steller sea cow and the passenger pigeon. They are examples of species that have become extinct due to over exploitation. So these were due to over exploitation of the humans. So they got extinct due to over exploitation by the humans. Many marine fish population are being over harvested, meaning humans are catching them faster than they can reproduce, which leads to decline in their numbers. Okay. Overfishing can also affect the food chain and reduce biodiversity, making it harder for marine life to recover. Okay, so this is endangering the continued existence of some commercially important species. This one is alien species invasion. So when a species is introduced to a new environment where it does not naturally occur, it is called as alien or introduced species. Okay, so organisms that are introduced to an environment outside their natural historical range. Known as alien species invasion. Now, when a species is introduced to a new environment, it may not have natural predators or competitors, which can lead to its population growth rapidly. However, if the species is not naturally found in that location, it might not have the right conditions or resources to survive, making it difficult for it to establish itself successfully. Now, these organisms, known as non-native, exotic, or introduced species, are plants or animals that have been brought into a new environment from another region, often by the human. Talk about the effect of alien species invasions. When alien or exotic species are introduced, either by accident or on purpose, they can disrupt the local ecosystem. These species, not originally formed from the area, may outcompete native species for resources like food and space, leading to decline in biodiversity. Some introduced species, when they are released into a new environment, can become invasive, meaning they spread rapidly and outcompete the native species for resources like food, space, and sunlight, often leading to a decline or even extinction of the local species. Okay. So, why there is an increase in the population of invasive species because there is a lack of natural predators or diseases in their new habitat, allowing them to grow and multiply unchecked. Now, this can lead to the decline of even the even the extinction of the indigenous species. We were talking about the alien species invasion. What are the examples of alien species invasion? Next one. Example is introduction of the Nile perch into Lake Victoria in East Africa. This is an example of how bringing a new species to an ecosystem can cause serious problems. The Nile perch is the largest freshwater fish in the world, meaning it lives in rivers and lakes without salt water. It can weigh up to a certain number of kilograms and grow up to 2 meters in length. Now, this introduction ultimately led to extinction of an ecologically unique assemblage of more than 200 species of cichlid fish in the lake. Okay. So, due to certain changes or due to human activities, a group of more than 200 unique cichlid fish species in the lake became extinct, which is a significant loss of biodiversity because these species were specially adapted to the environment. Okay, this is an image showing you Nile perch fish. So this fish was introduced into Lake Victoria and this caused the extinction of 200 species of cichlid fish. Okay, then another example of alien species invasion. So invasion of weed species like Parthenium lantana and water hyacinth causes harm to the ecosystem by outcompeting native plants for nutrients, sunlight, and water, leading to decrease in the biodiversity of the indigenous species. Now, these invasive species can also alter soil chemistry and disrupt the food chain, affecting both plant and animal life. Okay, so we can say their invasions have caused environmental damage that threatened the native species. Okay, this is an image showing the water hyacinth, Parthenium, and African catfish as well. Okay. Yeah, so here water hyacinth and Parthenium, these are the weeds that have been introduced. Even lantana also. Okay, because of this invasion of weed species, the indigenous species is not able to grow because the weed species they compete for the resources with the indigenous species, with the native species. Now let's talk about the causes of biodiversity loss. Let's discuss this. Let's continue the discussion on this topic. Another example is illegal introduction of the African catfish called Clarias garipinus. So I've already shown you the image of African catfish. So it was illegally introduced for aquaculture purposes. Okay. So this illegal introduction can disrupt the local ecosystem by outcompeting native species for resources. It can also introduce diseases or it can alter the food chain, thereby causing ecological imbalances. So, this is now posing a threat to indigenous catfish in our river. Okay. Again, this is an image showing you African catfish. This was introduced illegally for aquaculture purposes, but now it is posing threat to the indigenous catfish species. Let's talk about the fourth cause of biodiversity loss. This is co-extinction. Now, when one species becomes extinct because it completely relies on other species for survival, this is called an obligatory relationship. Okay, because they are totally dependent on each other. So, in this case, co-extinction occurs. So, the extinction of one species due to extinction of another species. This is co-extinction. Why they are doing this process of co-extinction? Because they are dependent on each other in an obligatory way. talk about the effects of coextinction. Now, when two species that depend on each other for survival become extinct, it shows the importance of mutual relationship in nature. Okay, so here in coextinction, what is happening? Two species they become extinct. These two species they were associated with each other in an obligatory way. Example of coextinction: to the extinction of parasite and host fish species. This is the first one. Parasite are organisms that live on or inside another organism called the host, and they completely rely on the host for their survival. They get food, shelter, and sometimes even protection from the host, but they do not help in the host anyway. If the host is getting harmed here, host is getting negatively affected here because the parasite is absorbing the nutrients from the host. Now, without the host, they have no means to live or reproduce. So these parasites they cannot survive without the host. So it is a kind of obligatory relationship. Okay, this is clear. Parasite is dependent on the host. Now the extinction of host fish species will lead to extinction of its unique assemblage of parasites because parasites are dependent on this host fish. Okay, so these parasites are highly specialized and cannot survive without their specific host. Therefore, the loss of the fish will result in the loss of these parasites as well. Okay. We're talking about the examples of the co-extinction. Second is the extinction of plant and its pollinator. So the extinction of plant and its pollinator is a harmful event where both species die out because they depend on each other for survival. The plant need the pollinator to reproduce because pollinator like bees, butterflies or birds help transfer pollen from the male part, which is the stamen, to the female part, which is the pistil of the flower. This is very essential for fertilization and production of the seed. Now, the pollinator needs the plant for food. Okay, so pollinator like bees, they obtain or they suck nectar from the plants. Okay, basically the flowers of the plant. Okay, so both are getting benefited here. So this is kind of mutualistic relationship. Plant is also getting benefit as it is getting pollinated, and the pollinator is also getting the food from the plant. Pollinators are mutually dependent and co-evolved also. Here, so both are evolving, both are mutually dependent on each other. Now, when a plant species goes extinct, it can lead to the extinction of specific pollinator that depends on it for the food, as the pollinator may not have any other food resource. This is because many pollinators like bees or butterflies rely on particular plants for nectar and pollen. If the plant disappears, the pollinator may lose its primary food source and eventually die out, disrupting the ecosystem balance. Okay, this is an image showing you plant and their pollinator. Here you can see the butterfly. Okay, this butterfly is getting the nectar. This is getting the food from the flowers. Okay, you can see the bees also. The bees also get the you can see food from these plant, and in this process they pollinate the plant. So let's summarize this entire session. So many species like dodo, quagga, and thylacine became extinct. Okay, currently, and many more are threatened as well. Now, the current extinction rate is 100 to 1000 times faster than in the past, mainly because of human activities like deforestation, overexploitation, okay, due to pollution, due to climate change, okay, clear? And then, if current trend continues, nearly half of all species might face extinction in the next 100 years. Now, the primary cause of extinction is habitat loss, which is especially serious in tropical rainforest, which is home to a large number of species. Unsustainable use of natural resources like overfishing or deforestation or excessive mining leads to depletion of a species because these activities destroy their habitats and reduce their population. Now, invasive species are non native organisms that enter a new environment and can grow and spread rapidly, often outcompeting the native species for essential resources like food, space, and sunlight. Now, when one species goes extinct, it can cause other species that rely on it for food, shelter, or other ecological interaction to also disappear. So, this is known as co-extinction. Okay. Now let's discuss some questions which are based on these topics. So first question is, what is the term used to describe major cause of biodiversity loss? The option is the evil quadrant, environmental degradation, biological apocalypse, and species destruction cycle. What is the correct answer? Correct answer is option number, the evil quadrant. So evil quadrant refers to the four main causes of biodiversity loss. First one is habitat loss and fragmentation. This refers to the destruction or reduction of an animal's natural home, making it harder for them to find food, shelter, and mates. Then overexploitation refers to the excessive use of natural resources beyond their ability to regenerate. Then you have the alien species invasion, which refers to the introduction of non-native species into a new environment, often through human activities, which can disrupt the local ecosystems by competing with the native species, by preying on them, or by introducing diseases. Now, co-extinction is when the extinction of one species leads to the extinction of the another species that depends on it. Okay, so these are the four main causes of biodiversity loss. Next question: which species are driven to extinction due to overexploitation in the last 500 years? The options are quagga, thylacine, passenger pigeon, and all of the above. Correct answer is all of the above. Option number D. So quagga, passenger pigeon, and thylacine were all species that went extinct due to overexploitation by humans within the last 500 years. So quagga, a subspecies of horse, was hunted to extinction for its meat and hide. Then passenger pigeon, once a very abundant bird in North America, it was hunted extensively for food and sport, leading to its extinction. Then thylacine, also known as Tasmanian tiger, it was hunted as a pest by settlers and eventually became extinct. Next question, if in the context of biodiversity loss, what is meant by co-extinction? So you have four options here. Option number A, the decline of two unrelated species, the extinction of a species followed by associated species. Option number C, the simultaneous extinction of plant and animals, and D is none of the above. So what will be the correct answer? Option number B is the correct answer here, the extinction of a species followed by the associated species. Okay, let's understand what is co-extinction. So co-extinction is when the extinction of one species leads to extinction of the other species that depends on it. Okay, so it refers to a situation where the extinction of one species directly leads to extinction of another species that depends on it for survival. For example, parasite depending on its host. If the host will not survive, obviously the parasite will also not survive because parasite is obtaining all the nutrients, it is absorbing all the nutrients from the host. Now let's discuss some keynotes. Now, human colonization of Pacific Island caused over 2,000 native bird species extinction. This is the fact here. Now, IUCN Red List recorded 784 extinction in the last 500 years, showing that many species have disappeared due to human activities like habitat destruction, pollution, and overexploitation. Notable recent extinction include the dodo, quagga, thylacine, and Steller sea cow. Amphibians are most vulnerable to extinction compared to other taxa because they have a unique life cycle that depends on both aquatic and terrestrial environment, and they are very sensitive to the climate change as well. The skin is very sensitive to the climate change. Over 15,500 species worldwide are currently threatened with extinction. Now, high extinction rates are unnaturally accelerated 100 to 1000 times faster than the historical time. So this high rate of extinction is due to human activities. Okay, if current trend continues, nearly half of the Earth species might extinct in next 100 years. Biodiversity loss impacts ecosystem stability, plant production, resistance to environmental changes. So if there is a lot of biodiversity, then the ecosystem stability is affected, the plant production is affected, and the ecosystem become less resistance to environmental changes. Now, the evil quadrant causes of biodiversity loss are, so there are four major causes of biodiversity loss: habitat loss, overexploitation, alien species invasion, and co-extinction. Okay, now there are some interesting questions for you to analyze. First question is, you have to compare the current sixth extinction event with previous mass extinction events in Earth history, and what are the similarities and differences in their causes and impacts. The next question is, you have to evaluate the role of human activities in accelerating the current rate of species extinction. Now, to what extent do you believe these activities could be altered to mitigate biodiversity loss? So the first question is, according to IUCN Red List 2004, how many species have gone extinct in the last 500 years? So options are 500 species, 784 species, 1000 species, or 2000 species. What is the correct answer? 784 species is the correct answer. Now, next one, which of the following group is most vulnerable to extinction as per analysis of extinction records? Birds, mammals, amphibians, or gymnosperm? Okay, option number C, amphibia or amphibians, they are the correct answer. So these amphibians, they are very sensitive to climate change. Okay, especially their skin is very sensitive to the climate change. So that's why they are most vulnerable to extinction. Next one, what is the primary difference between current sixth extinction and the previous 5 mass extinction? So options are, the current extinction is caused solely by natural disaster. Second is, the current extinction rates are 100 to 1000 times faster than the pre-human times. Next one, the current extinction is limited to terrestrial species only. And the last one, the previous extinctions were caused by human activities. So what would be the correct answer? Here, option number B will be the correct answer. The current extinction rate are 100 to 1000 times faster than the pre-human times. This is because of the human activities. Okay, so if this continues, then the half of the biodiversity will be lost in the next 100 years. Next one, which of the following is not one of the four major causes of biodiversity loss? Referred to as the evil quadrant. Options are habitat loss and fragmentation, climate change, overexploitation, and alien species invasion. What will be the correct answer? Okay, here the climate change is the correct answer. Okay, this is not one of the major cause of biodiversity loss. Major cause of biodiversity loss is habitat loss and fragmentation, overexploitation, alien species invasion, as well as co-extinction, not climate change. Next one, what is the consequence of breaking large habitats into smaller fragments due to human activities? Options are increased speciation rate. Okay. Next one, decline in population of species requiring large territories or migratory habits. Okay. Next one is enhance resistance to environmental perturbances, and last one is stabilization of ecosystem processes. What would be the correct answer? Okay, option number B will be the correct answer here. Decline in population of species requiring large territories because they require large habitats. Okay, or the migratory habits. Okay, this is clear because whenever they migrate, they are traveling. So if you can say, if there is the habitat has been broken down into fragments, like by building roads and all, then this will affect the migratory animals. Okay, so with this we have discussed the DPP also. All our answers are correct. So with this we will end this session. I hope this session was quite knowledgeable for you. We'll meet you in the next session. Thank you very much for listening.